Howdy, everybody. This is Leo Cloutier with Malice to None. We're here at Fenway Park today, and it's indeed a pleasure to have as our guest one of the utility greats in Major League Baseball with the Boston Red Sox. I'd like to welcome to our show friend of long standing, John Kennedy. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Leo.
John, certainly a pleasure to have you as our guest here. Again, John, another season. You're playing your usual top role again with the Boston Red Sox.
Well, I don't know how well I'm playing. I just wish that the team as a whole could get kind of on track, Leo. We've been stumbling around for the last couple of months, and it seems like nobody in the American League East wants to go ahead and win the pennant. I think if anybody could put any kind of a winning streak together, jump right out in first place, it'd be a great asset. Right now for us, we're playing Kansas City, and we've been having trouble for the last 2 years with Kansas City, and it seems like John Curtis is the only guy who can beat the ball club. If I was Eddie, I think I'd ask him if he could come back and pitch again today against them. But I think if we can get ourselves going right now, and like I say, everything is so bunched up in the American League East, I think we could find ourselves in first place. And it looks like a couple of the fellas are starting to swing the bat real good now. And hopefully, we're all in this for one thing, and that's to win it all. And I'd like to get going right now.
You know, John, the success of any ball club or any aggregation of any kind is the material they have on the bench, fellows upon whom they can call in the case of emergency. And you happen to be one of those, and you've done mighty well in that particular role.
Well, thank you, Leo, but I don't think I'm the only one that's been playing well coming off the bench, and I'm not too sure about how well I've been playing, but Phil Gagliano has done a real good job. When Yaz was hurt, Phil went in and played against left-handed pitching. He played left field. He played real well for us, and guys like Ben Ogilvy and Rick Miller played real well while Yaz was gone. So I think it's a combination of all four of us coming in, and what we do in this ball club, and I'm sure most utility players do the same. We try to go out. Most of the times we do work out on our own. We come out and take extra batting practice on our own, because when we're on the road we don't get that much hitting in. We might only get 10, 15 swings a day on a road trip. So what we do is when we're at home we try to get as much batting practice in as possible and stay in as good a shape as we possibly can without playing every day.
But you certainly do. John, you mentioned the name of Carl Yastrzemski. Do you think that Carl is still playing in the shadows of 1967 when he did nothing wrong, everything was right, and had one of the most tremendous years in Major League Baseball?
Well, yes, I do. For the average fan, when they see a guy have a great year like that, they feel that he should have that kind of a year every year. There's very few athletes in the world today that consistently, year in, year out, come back and have great years. I mean, there's guys like Hank Aaron and Richie Allen, but there's very few that do it. And it's impossible to come back and have the kind of year that he had in '67, year in and year out, where he led the league and everything. It's just impossible, and a lot of people expect it of him. And we, as his teammates, and I'm sure all ball players throughout the league, realize that it's tough for an individual to repeat year after year like that, and his presence on the ball field means a lot in the ball game. Even like last year, for example, when he was hurt and he wasn't swinging the bat real well and he wasn't hitting, pitchers were afraid to pitch to him even then. So that's a tribute to how good a hitter he is.
So true. Do you think the Red Sox, if they can untrack and get going, say compile some sort of a winning streak, can definitely win this pennant?
I definitely feel so. I don't. We're still really not hitting the ball real well, but as of late, the last maybe 3 games, some of the fellas who have been hitting under 200 or just above 200 have been hitting the ball real well. They may not have been getting their base hits, but they've been hitting the ball well. And I think if we can get a couple of guys hitting, see, we've got the type of ball club where if you get guys like Reggie Smith or Rico Petrocelli or Carl Yastrzemski, if they can get hot. For example, last year Rico carried us for a solid month and a half all by himself, and if you can get a couple of those guys hot, they can just carry you the rest of the way through the season.
How do you feel about the Baltimore Orioles? You think that they've had pretty good success recently against the Oakland Athletics, which is of course one of the most potent clubs in the league. But what do you think? Do you think they'll untrack and get going?
Yes, I do. They're too good a ball club to be playing the type of baseball they are. A lot of people say that without Frank Robinson they're not the same ball club, which is true, but when you've got that kind of pitching over there, I've been when I played in the National League with the Dodgers, we had a team batting average of 230 going into the World Series, but we had great pitching, and if you have great pitching will always overshadow great hitting, and I think Baltimore will come out of it soon, and I still think they're the club to beat.
John, you have a young catcher by the name of Carlton Fisk. I mentioned him because he comes from my part of the country, Charlestown, New Hampshire. He seems to have found himself.
Well, he sure has, and you can't say enough about Carlton Fisk. He's the type of boy who goes out, he'll take criticism from his players. I don't mean constructive criticism, I mean. And he'll go out, he's willing to learn, and there's a lot of times that he does things on the field, and he'll come in, and Gagliano and I sit around most of the time, and we don't try to look for things that guys are doing wrong, but if we see something that a fella does wrong and we think it can help him later on, we'll go up to him. And I've been on clubs where you've had young ball players, and you go up and tell them that something that they've done wrong, and they just don't want you to bother him that way. Where Carlton takes it, and he realizes that we're doing it to help him. Plus, he's just played great baseball, and I think for years and years to come, barring injury, I think he's going to be one of the finest young prospects in the American League.
And you know, John, he doesn't seem only to take advantage of that left field wall, but that center field stands don't appear to be too far for him.
Well, that's right. He's a big, strong boy, and that's the trouble. And see, when guys come into Fenway Park, you can see the difference when you go in other towns. Say, like you're playing the Angels in Anaheim, and you see the guys hit, they spray the ball around. But the minute they come in here in the Fenway, they see that wall, and it looks so inviting, and they change their whole hitting style. Well, Carlton just tries to hit the ball. He doesn't try to pull the ball, and like I say, he's strong enough where he can hit the ball out into the bullpen in right field and into the center field seats.
John, anyone who can hit a ball in the center field seats in Fenway Park can hit a ball over any fence in Major League Baseball, don't you think?
Well, yeah, but the thing is, that, like I say about Carlton, he just goes up and he tries to hit the ball, and it's amazing his slugging percentage this year. I think he only has 30-some hits, and of those 30 hits, he's about 17 or 18 of them hit for extra base hits.
John, one more question. Do you think your pitching is adequate to carry this ball club the rest of the season without any help?
Yes, I do. I don't know what their plans are. The trading deadline is tonight. I don't know if they've been looking around for pitching or what they've been looking for, but I think we have a good enough pitching staff right now that we can go on and win it. But like I said, we have to put it all together. We've been playing, we've had bad hitting and good pitching, and then we've had good pitching and no hitting, and vice versa. So I think it's just a matter of putting it together. But I think our pitching staff is good enough for us to win it.
Johnny, I see that it's about time for you to get on the field. I want to thank you for this interview, and I certainly want to wish you and the Boston Red Sox not only that American League East Division title, but that pennant and then on to that World Series.
I'll take that.
Thank you very much, John. This was an interview with John Kennedy, a star utility player with the Boston Red Sox, and this brings us to the end of With Malice to It None for today. Until tomorrow at the same time, from Fenway Park, Leo Cloutier, good day.